Hi YouTube, welcome to one of my favourite fields again, and one of my favourite oak trees behind me. I've been doing a bit of research today about lithium withdrawal and mania as well, and I realised that what I've been going through isn't mania at all, and part of the withdrawal symptoms of coming off lithium. Which is a bit odd really, because I've been back on my original dose 600 for about a week now, but the symptoms haven't gone away. So one of the things is my breathing, so I'll sniff quite a lot and take in kind of more air suddenly, probably because my body isn't doing it naturally and easily like it normally would. It also feels like my chest is a bit tight, and I know this is one of the symptoms that you can have a really tight chest. I wouldn't say it's really bad, but sometimes, you know, I notice it's there. This morning Robin said, "You're right, you look like a zombie." That was after I'd had a shower and kind of, you know, woken up a bit. It was when I was saying goodbye. They were doing the school run, and I just went to look in the mirror just to see what kind of he was talking about, and my face kind of looked like it had no expression, and just didn't really move. It was quite solid, because I noticed sometimes when I'm anxious, for example, this part of my forehead would crease up, but it was just kind of flat and lifeless and dead. That wasn't there at all, and maybe I've been a bit like that all day, with the whole zombie effect. What's the other thing? Oh yeah, I felt that my skin has been much drier, and I've noticed that mostly on kind of my lower back. I don't know if you can see, if I can walk away. No. So kind of my upper bum at the back going up to my lower back and mid back, and sometimes I'll just have to kind of stand there and scratch it because it's kind of so sore from dryness. It's quite an intense feeling on my skin, and I don't get that everywhere on my skin, just there mainly. What else? I'll just pause a second. I've also noticed that there are times when my body can't really regulate its temperature, so it can feel too hot or too cold quite easily. Sometimes I really don't feel like sitting still, and that kind of physical agitation that you can get. And, you know, if I have to sit in a car for ages or something, that can be quite difficult. And with that kind of change in motion where I'm not in control, whether I'm in a car or, you know, someone else is driving, I can feel that those movements in my body are kind of too much to take, and it's kind of maybe a bit like seasickness, like I'm holding on to the car because it's like, yeah, there's something about my balance that isn't right, and I don't really feel dizzy, but it's like, okay, I'm just trying to steady myself, and sometimes being in a car can make me feel nauseous when most of the time it doesn't do that. So a little while ago I actually managed to have a fitting for a wedding dress project that I'm doing, and I was really quite nervous before going to do it because I didn't know whether to tell her I wasn't well at the moment, or whether just to leave it, and in the end I was able to swim through it quite well, and I didn't need to tell her, and I knew that between now and May I would be able to get the job done. And but I did notice that while I was taking her measurements, you know, close to her body, around her waist and everything, that my hands were quite trembly, and just kind of small movements in my fingers and my hands. But I would say that apart from hand trembling, that's something that also, what's the word? It kind of transfers down into other parts of the body. So if I'm sitting, like my head might want to do a certain twitch, or my shoulder might do a certain twitch, or my whole arm might want to move, or my whole spine might want to make a movement, or my leg or my foot, anywhere really. It's just kind of not still, not steady. It's almost like the nervous system isn't happy and calm, and it will just make you move when you don't need to or don't want to, or you didn't make it happen, it just happens. So something I wanted to say about clarity of mind. I would say that quite often I'm more confused. Thoughts don't come like in a normal way. Also, if I'm talking to Robin, like just now on the phone, we were talking about money, and I can get, like, my body sometimes can feel kind of stiff and firm and rigid almost, and like I get stuck on a point maybe, and like I'll just say it, and it's kind of, my tone of voice isn't flowing or free or soft like it normally can be, and I don't feel like that's in my control, and it's not something that just happens easily. It's the same with even if I'm on my own, I might feel like my head is, my mind is quite unchanging. It's kind of solid, dense, heavy. Yeah, just kind of a sensation of there's no flow, there's no movement, there's no freedom in my mind so much. And another thing is noises. So just now I was looking at some films on YouTube, and my body was just like starting to reject the sound and the kind of stimuli, I suppose, and I just had to turn it off. And then I was like, right, I'm just going to try and sit now in front of the fire, and I played my Tibetan singing bowl for a bit, for the first time in probably a month, and just listened to that sound, which is kind of probably more intense than usual. I didn't do it for very long, and then I just sat quietly and tried to focus on my breathing, and I really felt, you can't see, but in that part of my stomach, kind of where your what's it called? Your diaphragm is, that part that kind of delineates between your lungs and your organs, felt really tense and hard, and I know that I have been a bit constipated recently as well, so my guts and my digestive system isn't feeling happy. I kind of feel bloated and big, so breathing, isn't by any means full and long and beautiful. It's kind of short and a bit strained, I suppose. Even if I'm not forcing it or anything, it kind of feels like it's a struggle. The other thing that you might notice if you look at past videos of me is my eyes. So at the moment it's not very bad, but it's almost like I'm looking through half eyelids, so my eyelids are much more closed, and I can feel extreme fatigue and tiredness, and all I want to do is just lie down. But I try not to sleep because I don't want to ruin my nighttime sleeping pattern, and at the moment I'm sleeping pretty well at nighttime, but I look pretty tired. And the other thing is, I notice that I can be overly rosy and red cheeked, like my cheeks are pretty hot right now, and maybe it's like, I don't know, my energy's up high and it comes out of my cheeks, and I can I just feel hot-headed kind of thing. I think that's about it really. There's quite a few things, but so yeah, this I don't think is mania. It's kind of what I'm going through from having probably dropped out of the therapeutic range a week ago, and just been getting these different sensations in my body, and it's not mania, because although actually something I haven't commented on was, so in the morning, like literally there's maybe 3 seconds when I wake up when there's just a normal heartbeat, and then I don't know if it's serotonin or what, but so the hormone kicks in, or my nervous system kicks in, and my heartbeat straight away kind of picks up speed, and I can really feel my heartbeat is going much faster, and I can feel it's kind of hard, and you know, it's thumping hard in my chest, and I can feel it a bit now actually. And so this morning I did 4 hours of kind of quite physical activity in the garden and in the house, carrying logs, weeding, cleaning out the woodshed, and yeah, doing all sorts of different jobs. And I didn't stop for 4 hours. And my doctor said, you know, for a whole hour per day you should be doing hard physical activity or exercise, you know. And I was going to cycle, but my bike has got a puncture, so I couldn't. So I was like, okay, what else can I do? So I was like, yeah, you know, I've achieved a lot, and my house and surroundings look different now. And you know, as soon as I was done at 12, I had something to eat, and then did some more calming things, because then I was like, oh my god, I'm really tired now. So yeah, this kind of fluctuation of energy, from needing to do lots with kind of adrenaline pumping, to then, oh my god, I'm really tired, I have to do nothing now, for quite a while. And then, what was it, 4 hours gone by where I haven't done so much. I knitted, and yeah, did some other gentle calm things. I had to go off for a walk again and to move my body because it was still for too long. So yeah, I think if you're a normal person, kind of inactivity you can handle, but right now inactivity is not easy to handle for long periods. So I hope that was interesting, and maybe if you're going through lithium withdrawal, that you will be able to you know, what I'm saying will ring true with you as well, and be good to have any feedback and any tips on how this process can be a bit easier, because it's not easy at all. It's weird and difficult to handle at the best of times. You might notice also that my speech isn't as clear. Sometimes I've been stuttering, and yeah, sometimes what I want to say just doesn't come out in the way that I want it to come out. It's a bit jittery. Anyway, that's enough. See you on the next video. Bye.